Hello and welcome to the PM Show, your weekly roundup of what's new and going on from 2021. What a year.
Yeah, absolutely. What a year.
It's one of those years where it's like you look back on it and I can't remember what happened.
I bet Andy can. He'll never forget this.
Andy's got probably some moments he can draw back on. But like seriously, I'll tell you what, even that feels like a lifetime ago when you had your op.
Yeah, it does. All right.
You know, that feels like ages ago you had that, but literally it was only last month. So it's like, you know. But again, this year has absolutely flown by. I think that was the thing. You know, I know obviously with COVID, obviously Andy with his and work and all things like that as well. It's, you know, they say time flies when you're enjoying yourself. I'm not sure if some of it we were enjoying. Well, Andy wasn't. But yes. Anyway, all good. How are we doing then, gentlemen? All fine? Ready for Christmas?
Yeah.
No one's ready at all. Let's face it.
Never ready. It would just
We haven't even put our Christmas decorations up yet.
Oh, hey, Leslie did manage that to put a tree up. I'll give her that.
I must admit, we did do ours on Saturday. Yes.
I've got to go out shopping at some point because I still haven't done it for one reason or another.
That's it. Matt's going to do his Christmas shopping at a service station M&S again.
I will be, yeah, pretty much probably as usual. But now I'm
Christmas Eve on the way in.
Yeah, that's it. He'd be popping into Marks and Spencer and see what we got left over.
Hey, and give her a carrier bag. There you go.
Yeah. It's a potato, you know, Percy the pigs.
Be a bag of potatoes or Brussels sprouts.
Yes, definitely.
But no,
never mind.
We're all sorted. But yeah, this year it's just been, like I say, it's just flown, hasn't it? We were in a bit of a chat yesterday, weren't we, about kits and obviously more for tomorrow night's discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a clue. I've just no idea what will happen at the beginning of the year for what's coming, because I don't think there's a real standout kit this year.
No.
I can't. For me personally, I'm not saying for you guys, but for me personally, there's nothing that really stands out that's stuck in the memory from the beginning of the year till now. It's been an odd year for releases, I think, full stop. But then obviously that's the world as it is. But yeah, I don't know. Obviously, we're going to touch on this more tomorrow with the old crew, aren't we, and have a discussion about it. But yeah, just from a PM point of view, I can't think of anything, that was just outstanding. And obviously, I've looked through your reviews as well. And you had the same thing, didn't you?
Yeah. We were talking about it yesterday, and I couldn't even remember a lot of the ones we've done. And it's funny because when you first think of it, like I said, well, we haven't had much from Airfix, but actually we have.
Yeah, we've had
because when we went back through the reviews, we've had like 5 or 6 releases from them this year.
Yeah.
So it's one of those ones, I think, because the year's been just so busy and full on, that you have very little time to sort of look back and take stock. So it's like deer in the headlights type of thing, and you're just pushing forward. And things are going past you and you're not really taking it all in. And again, if you look back at the beginning of the year, coming back off of obviously year 1 of COVID, let's face it, that was a strange year because we did a lot of live shows and obviously with full proper lockdowns. Business was very good. We were selling a lot of gear, but then we couldn't get hold of it.
Yeah.
That was the biggest problem, was us trying to get stocks, and we were literally trying to get it from all around the world to get it in. And obviously we came off the back of that with Brexit and all the problems, because then customs came in and that delayed everything, as well as just shipping in general. This year, sorry, someone's car alarm. This year, it was slightly different, is that, obviously things tended to settle down a bit, but we were still in that situation where we still couldn't get a lot of stock at the beginning of the year. And if we could, it was coming, wasn't it? We were being told by distributors and manufacturers that it's left, but we don't know where it is.
Yeah.
So
there's been a lot of delays, and like we've said on the previous shows, it's been a bit feast and famine, because this last couple of weeks has just been for us, as in what we've had on pre-orders. It's just had about 5 coming in literally a fortnight, I think it was, from one reason or another. Luckily, it's like further enough away from Christmas, so people are going to get them on time. But it was a bit like you with the Razor Quest there. Razor Quest. Where have I got Quest from?
I'll tell you what it was, is because I think at one point in the review I might have called it a Razor Quest. Then I wasn't sure if I had said it or not, and afterwards I know I didn't, because I was definitely onto Crest, but I think
Crest.
that's where it's come from. So apologies to everyone's now calling it the Razor Quest. To be honest, I think they missed the boat. They should have called it that.
They should.
But then that would go into a certain film that was out, wasn't it? So
Galaxy Quest thing.
Galaxy Quest, I think. So that's why, they went with Crest. Quest would have been far better. Just saying.
That'll be the next shit that they do. But
Yes.
I mean, that is literally only just come in last week, wasn't it? So we was waiting for that to come in. That you obviously wanted to build it.
Yeah.
And we were saying if they'd have missed the boat with that before Christmas, I think that would have been a crying shame, really, because it is ideal Christmas presents. I suppose it's Star Wars. It's current. It's topical. It's whatever you want to call it, isn't it? So. But yeah, some of the other stuff, the Zero you've got there, and plenty of others just came in all in one batch, really. But it's been how it is all year. So obviously some stuff going to roll over into next year as well. So we'll see. But,
and obviously we did lose a couple of manufacturers, notably obviously Kitty Hawk.
Yes.
And obviously with Wingnut Wings as well. Obviously I know that was a little bit before Christmas last year, but obviously the fallout of that happened this year. With everything that went on with it as well. So, and again, in some ways it's one of those things. I feel very guilty of giving Kitty Hawk a hard time. But, in my defence, like I've always said, the reason I always gave Kitty Hawk a hard time was they were this close to releasing really, really good kits. AAA titles, no problem at all. But it seemed to be they were rushed. And as we now probably know, that the reason they were rushed is because they needed the money to get it in, and when the turnover of cash involved with the company and things like that. And obviously, with the pressures was probably being added towards the end as well, and that's when the silly mistakes were coming through. So, again, unfortunately, we lost those, and I was really hopeful that they were just going to turn it just a little bit up a little bit, so the instructions were always good, and then obviously some silly little mistakes during moulding and stuff got picked up before they were released and could be fixed. Then you would have had a company really up there, what I call a AAA title. And again, I've built a couple of their bits and pieces over the years, a lot of and their Seahawk, which I did this year, is a big old build, I think was their finest kit. It's really, really nicely engineered. It goes together, but it was let down by poor instructions and moulding that was moulded back to front, which should have been picked up a long time ago. It's an easy fix, but you shouldn't be fixing it as a modeler when it's a moulding error and things like that. So again, it was one of those. But generally, I thought it was a beautiful kit, and it's that good that when they did go pop, I bought, as the guys know, because they got it in for me, the it's the MH60R. So if you can do all the versions out of that one as well, and it will just live in my stash now, because one day I will do another one. But it's just a crying shame when these companies goes, and it's the same obviously with Wingnut Wings, and I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole because that's still ongoing as we speak. But obviously the company, it got to the stage where it wasn't going to be viable to carry on. So, and pandemic aside and all the bits and pieces, it was like a real shame to see what were what the best company, let's face it, I think, out of them all, from an instruction point of view, boxing, artwork, the kit itself. It really is a shame when we see a company of that caliber just shut the doors and walk away, from the hobby as well, But there again, we've seen other manufacturers come along really nicely, and say, I'm not going to give too much away, but the Razor Crest is, I think, probably Revell's best kit to date, purely because I haven't built it yet, but just looking at it, it seems to be a massive step up, as in, like, the engineering of the kit, the moulding of the kit, just the way it goes together. The instructions, I don't know if you've seen the review yet, but the instructions as well, it's got the colours of the items you're painting. Instead of saying it's A, which is a mix of different colours, they've actually done colour instructions now that shows you the colour call-outs for all the parts that are in there. So again, little upgrades all the way through. So it looks like, they've really stepped up. But the crispness of the moulding and the plastic isn't that horrible chewy toffee stuff. It's proper hard styrene plastic. So it's very, very crisp, and it looks to go fantastic. And to be honest, I'm a member of a couple of communities that do Star Wars bits and pieces as well, and they've already put them together, and apparently it goes together absolutely fantastic. So So yeah, really, really nice. And then other ones, obviously you've got, Edard this year done tons of stuff. Obviously they've done the sort of branding and boxing of the Profi Pack kits and the weekend editions with the new artwork, which we all love. Which is really nice to see a company aren't just thinking of perhaps the plastic, but the box and the artwork and stuff. And, we've often been saying about it, how wonderful it is and how it's almost going back to that day of walking into a model shop and seeing it on the shelves. You almost get that now when you see their latest releases that inspire you to want to do it, because the box art looks absolutely brilliant, and that as a kid modeler, for me anyway, was always a thing. I didn't even care what it was, but if the box art looked cool and exciting, I'd want to build it to replicate that, even if it did last 10 minutes and then I'll throw it out the window on fire, on a piece of string or whatever it was. But, that was the whole point of getting me into the hobby. And, it's nice to see that companies now are doing it. And Airfix's artwork as well, really, really good stuff. So, it's nice to see that the companies aren't just thinking, well, it's digital now, it's all online, we won't care. It's secondary.
Well, saying that, even if you're buying it online, you're still looking at a box top.
Yeah,
I know you're not physically looking at it as in like the old school way of in the shop, but you're still looking at it as in. So if you're drawn to nice box art,
again, I think what we would call it today, what we called it in the 70s, was technically the box art, wasn't it? Now we call it clickbait. Because if you see it on your screen, isn't it, it's a fantastic looking, you're like, oh, what's that? That looks good. Yeah. And you click on it. And it doesn't matter if it's a kit when you're looking around the store and you see a good looking bit of box art and you just click on it because it looks cool, or if it's a YouTube video. Because let's face it, I can do that one, because if I put up a picture of us mugs sat here as our thumbnail, which technically is what we're doing, I will get X amount of views. If I put up a box art picture, suddenly it will get twice, 3 times, 4 times the viewing.
Yeah.
And I can prove that because when the Lancaster came out, the nose section for the HK 30-second one, I used that as the box art for one of these shows, and that is still the highest rated video.
Right.
I only showed it on the screen for 2 minutes. If it was below us here, but everybody at the time was like, "Oh, look at that!" They're talking about obviously the Lancaster on that show, and they clicked on it because it was the latest thing. We had just got it in, and all the rest of it. But again, it's that thing about it drew people in from our point of view of watching the show, and obviously from a sales point of view as well. So
you just have to put a picture of the Razor crest up then for this show, and then people would click on it. Just it'll ramble on for an hour.
Yeah, that's all right. Look, if I stick it, because it's in new arrivals, here it is.
Yeah.
We'll just stick this as our thing here. People will be on it.
Have it thumbnail. Yeah. To be honest, though, I did watch your review yesterday, and like you said, with the instructions and the general just moulding of that kit is just top drawer stuff. To be honest with you, I was thinking back, because I'll mention more of this tomorrow about Revell, because obviously I love-hate sort of relationship with that company. Say he's getting more to the love side, shall we say, rather than the hate, because they've done some cracking stuff this year. And we were on about releases, weren't we, of like bigger companies, shall we say, or lack of releases for this year. And obviously there's a reason for that, and I think, like going back to Kitty Hawk and stuff, obviously money problem, obviously. But obviously, I think that was probably amplified by the pandemic. Is not helped them, because getting stuff kind of, as we know, out of China, mainland China, for talking to Gary at Tiger, obviously Obico. I know they're more out of Japan and stuff, but we've mentioned they've got no end of time. Is the shipping situation. And the cost of it as well. So it's been a nightmare, but obviously they can't produce it either.
No,
they can't get it out to the world to sell it. They're not getting any money back. It's that vicious circle of, obviously we had that ship that was stuck in the canal. That blocked the canal up for how long? I've just remembered about that. And then there's been other things that's gone off this year, but all in all, I think it's been quite a.
But China went into a 4-day week, didn't they, for a while? So they lost 20% of their production just by doing that, and then they weren't lockdowns earlier on in the year, didn't they? So it's been a challenging year.
The lack of new releases out of China it's really slowed down for obvious reasons. But like we were saying, Hobby Boss, Trumpet, they have released stuff, but it's been very, for them, slow.
Yeah.
Tackham's only just come back.
Mm-hmm.
Ryfield have done releases, but it's mainly previous molds, different versions. I think who else is there? Meng have done a few, but not a lot. You've had the GT40, the DR1s, perhaps a few others I can't think of, but nothing like they normally release nice stuff and quite regular, don't they? Who else is there? Obviously the border models.
Yeah, we have the 109.
The 109, which is a cracking kit. It's a really, really nice kit. Again, nothing, there's been a few, but it's been very sporadic. Tamiya, well, we were struggling, weren't we?
Yeah.
I know they have released stuff, don't get me wrong.
The Phantom was really their one for this year, wasn't it?
For them, the big one of the year, isn't it?
I
can't think of any others. There's going to be some, and people go, well, what about this and this? But some of them are reboxing and re-releases. Without looking back through your reviews or a Tamiya catalogue, I can't think off the top of my head. But you know what I mean? I'm thinking of them stellar, releases. But I think Revel's been pretty steady. I think they've been steady along with ICM. ICM's just been the usual plodding along, releasing. Like you said, the Cobra helicopter, the Bronco. There's bound to be some others I've not thought of. Every version of a A26 Invader has come out, literally. But yeah, good for them. But interesting year. Very interesting, shall we say. We got real colours in, didn't we?
Yes, from our point of view, we got the new range. Obviously, took on the entire lot of the real colour paints, which I love. I think, you know, as you say, I just can't find actually a fault with these yet.
So
been a big hit, haven't they, sales-wise as well? So.
Just mentioning real colours, because I've been doing this as a bit of a video build. I'm going to be using them on this. Give them a blast.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. That's good.
Look out for a video build coming soon.
Yeah. Without my head in the way. Let's just say we've had technical errors on a previous video that was supposed to be coming out. That's all I can say. And unless he can mangle something out of nothing.
What? Photoshop your head out the way?
Oh, God. I gave him all that. How many hours footage did I do on that truck?
I've got 3.5 hours worth of footage.
And three hours, minutes. 20 minutes of my head.
8 minutes of usable footage.
Oh, dear. It's a nightmare. So yeah, something like
we're gonna have to set him up with multiple cameras, and that's why I always run two, and they're offset. So that way, if my head's in the way, I can use the other one.
Hey,
try getting a camera.
That's going to be the upgrade.
Yeah, we can sort that. We'll get that done.
But yeah, no. Apart from that, though, been pretty good.
But again, from a company point of view, obviously we've done invested back into the company this year quite heavily. As I say, we took on obviously the Real Colours range. We've taken on more tools and various bits and pieces. Now we've done loads of tools this year.
Washers, pigments, didn't we, from MIG? The MIG productions, washers and pigments, they will come in this year. I don't know, and next year's even got more things.
Yeah, we've got more stuff coming in.
More staff.
Yeah, another member of staff.
Yes, we've got another member of staff as well. She's behind the scenes.
Yeah, she's behind.
Andy's replacement, he just doesn't know it yet.
No, all in all, really, really good. So
yeah, no, it has. It's been fantastic.
Been enjoyable. So
good year. So any standout moments for you, Andy, apart from almost dying? Clearly, we'll gloss over that one. But for you working for the company,
I think, like I said, the past month or so with all the new releases. And I mean, Matt's saying that sort of like there's no standout kits for him, but for me, I mean, we'll talk about it more tomorrow. But the one that's at the side of you there, the Razor Quest and the SL71. I mean, who would have thought anyone would bring out another 1/48 SL71?
I have got it, just for people who are wondering. It's just it was too big to put up.
Yeah,
but I have got one here, and I will do the review of this afternoon. And I've slated that this will be a review going up. I've had to write it all down because I'm that far away with it. This will be up with you on Thursday, so tomorrow that'll be up.
It does take some big gonads to sort of like bring out something like that, especially in the current climate of the problems with production and sort of like when sort of like the problems we've got in the world, to bring out something like that. But they're probably it's sort of this past month or so. So it just seems to have gone mad.
Again, I think what was happening was a lot of stuff was delayed. Shipping delays, as we know, are a huge part, and all the rest of it. And I'm be honest with you, I didn't think we'd actually see the Razor Crest until after the new year.
Yeah.
I thought that was done and finished now, and that's why, to be honest, I built the Galactica this year for my December build, because originally it was always going to be that one. So the bit where it turned up last week, you must admit, you could have knocked me over with a feather with that one, because I thought, we're too close to Christmas now, it's never going to happen. And as you say, we had the SR71 come in as well, and then obviously the Razor Quest popped in, and then again we had all these other ones floating in as well, and it was like, how? They've literally all just turned up together.
Yeah.
So, always the way, like buses.
I think the first 10 months of the year it was a very frustrating month stock wise, because we were putting orders in with companies. I mean, with like coming out the Euro, so that causes problems getting stuff from companies in Europe, and also then sending kits out to people in Europe causes huge headaches. So that was like a big frustration, getting stuff in from, we were putting pre-orders up, expecting the kits to come in within a few months. Some of them we're still waiting for, some of them only just landed. I mean, like, I was looking back at when I've put pre-orders up and kits have just come, and it's like thinking, crack, that was like 6-7 months ago we put that up. And one of them, I think it was the SR71, I think I said in the thing, expected September.
Yeah.
I think it was originally, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it was originally September, and it's got delayed. So
it just
pre-orders. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of frustrations throughout the year, but sort of like it has, it's panned out. Yeah.
It does. It's worked out in the end, hasn't it?
Yes.
If you look back now, you know what I mean, it's better to look back than when you're in the middle of it, because it's not as bad as it seems, is it? Really, I think it's been productive. I think we've done a lot. We've done a lot with these, haven't we? How many of these shows have we done now, Phil? Because you told me the other day.
I did tell you the other day. I can't remember now off the top of my head. That's on the other system for that one. But yeah, no, we've done quite a lot of these. I'll do the statistics for tomorrow's show, and I'll do the run through of how many done and all the bits and pieces. And the stats from everything for the year. But yeah, it's been one of those ones of, we do these shows and we talk about these ones, and we say, it's coming in, and does it? No. Then we get people saying, you said, we've shut up now, we don't say that anymore. It'll be here when it arrives.
There's been products that the year before we pushed heavily and sold really well. We were talking about it before we came on air, and we've not been able to get hold of them all the way throughout the year.
No.
Hopefully, next year.
Watch this space.
Exactly, yeah. But it's just been, it's frustrating like that. That it's something that you can sell well, and there's just nowhere to get it from. Obviously, because of supply chain issues, and probably not being manufactured over in China, where they've obviously come from, and cause issues. But you default onto something else, don't you? It's like and sell other things.
Snips and scrapers.
Yeah.
Complete default.
What do you think? This time last year, I couldn't even get hold of a plastic bottle. I could get the bottle, I couldn't get a black cap to go on the wash bottles. So we had to, at one point, we were using aluminium tops, which cost a fortune. But it was the only way we could do it, because you could not get anywhere in the world, because nobody was producing black plastic. Because it was all clear plastics for, obviously sanitizers and things like that. So all the manufacturers, that's all they were doing. And the companies that produce the plastic pellets that make all these things weren't producing black, they were producing clear or white, because that's what everybody wanted. But again, it's one of those strange things. You look back at it and it's, oh God, I remember that was horrendous. But as I say, now luckily things are back to normal, and I've got 30,000 of them. So if anyone needs a black cap or a bottle, shoot me a message, because I've got literally about 36,000 of them now. So, but again, that's the thing now, you sort of bulk up and buy. And we've been doing that as a company as well. We've obviously been trying to second guess what's going to be a good seller, what we can do, but also, bread and butter stock to keep it better. Whereas before we were a smaller company a year ago, with things that we were buying what we thought would sell, and then we put in a reorder. But now we know that reorder might take 2, 3, 4 times as long to come in. So now we've been buying more of, to make sure we carry better quantities, better stocks, things like paints, glue, stuff like that. You're always going to get holes in it, but that's the other thing as well. We've been trying to think a little bit ahead to make sure that we've got it. So when you do place your orders, we can fulfill them on the spot. without having, there's nothing worse when you look at the site and it's like out of stock, and there's nothing we can do about it, so we were trying to keep better stocks, more of,
I know for like in January, I know talking to of the hobby company, shall we say, they're expecting hopefully we'll have the Tamiya paints all back up. That's the LPs and the things. The LPs I know have been annihilated for months and months, and that's just a supply issue from them getting them. So hopefully in the new year, next year we'll be back up and we'll be keeping proper stocks of them in. And I know there's a few gaps in the XF range as well. So yeah, we should be back on and tools and stuff like that, normal stuff. So yeah, all good anyway.
We do get a lot of questions of people asking when's this coming back in, but 99.9% of the time it's not us that haven't. We put in regular.
We've ordered it. It just then racked up, or it's in a back order system as well with said suppliers. And that's always been the problem. And the trouble, like we said before, is that, to be honest, the suppliers who supply us don't even know when it's coming in, because they've been told from the factory they'll be producing, but then it's got to be shipped, it's got to clear customs and all things like that. And I think that's the one thing this year, I think people think we've got an insight to know when it will be coming in, but we don't. We know as much as probably you do, because at the end of the day, even if the factory have shipped it, when that comes in and when it clears customs and when it gets delivered is a different matter. To be honest, we've got an outstanding order at the moment with a company which should have been here and it hasn't, for some reason or other, and it's a case of why, but no one can really answer those questions. So sometimes it might be feel that we're just passing the buck, but honestly it's purely because we don't know. And the last thing we want to do as well is tell you, it's going to be in on whatever date, and then it just doesn't turn up. And as I say, we've been caught with it. If you go back through the pre-orders, certain Tomcat is living up to its history. The AMK Tomcat, originally we were told it was going to be coming back in and all the rest of it. We put a pre-order for it up there because it's a fantastic kit, and we're just kicking our heels waiting for it to turn up, like we did for 4 years. January. So, hopefully it will be January, but, don't hold your breath over these things. They turn up when they do.
No, I think this one is a definite for January, because I actually spoke to said person yesterday. So I think, back end of Jan, I think we're looking. But I think, I'll tell you what, we did have a date the 19th of Jan. Don't know if you'd be happy with me telling that, but it was, which is like, day for my birthday, happy days. So I don't know if that when it lands in port or whether he should get it, but obviously it's got to be sorted and stuff. But so some fingers crossed.
We'll be all right.
It can be delayed. Something can happen. The wind could blow the wrong way or whatever.
He said it, so when it doesn't turn up and where we are in July, you can blame him.
Hey, don't forget about this by January. So that does it. It'll all be done. So just while it's sat here, because people are going to be wondering, we have been sent some samples from a lovely company called Arcus.
Oh, hold on. I just need to move your camera a little bit. Keep going.
Yeah, okay. So this is a company out of the Ukraine.
Yes.
Yeah. And we took to them as well because we were expecting it to arrive a few weeks ago, weren't we? And it's only just arrived yesterday.
Yeah, it's been a bit slow in postage, but it's arrived, so that's good. So if they're watching, thank you. It's turned up at long last, but Andy will send you an email. So we've been sort of hinting at enamels, haven't we?
Yeah.
A little bit for the past few weeks. Well, this is what we've been on about. This is what we've been waiting for. These are actually enamel paints. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this in the post probably in the new year. No point doing it in between to Phil, so we can have a play and see what he thinks. But they are odourless. I've had a bit of a smell because that was the thing with enamels. The smell was a bit horrendous on it, and the drying times. Hopefully, I don't know if we're going to stock them or not, so don't get excited. We're just going to try them, see what we think.
But we did notice a particular paint in there, didn't there, that was very interesting.
Yeah. A orange colour for tinting canopies. Tint oxide it's called.
Right, so we'll give that a whirl.
So he's going to give that a whirl, and obviously we've got the light ghost grey and medium grey, and and there's a burnt metal colour in there as well. So nice little packaging as well, very nice professional packaging. There's the colours on the back. So they do sets and they do individuals as well. If you go and look them up, a lot of aircraft colours they do. I think they only do sort of German armour at the minute, and we've got a delivery, I think, or something.
Seamless.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so I think it'd just be interesting to see how they react if this is the new modern enamels, which I'm hoping.
Well, the big thing is, like we said about before, isn't it? It's smell, because obviously enamels stink when you're airbrushing them, and obviously that seems to be pretty good from where you've sniffed it. And then obviously drying times. So if the drying times are good, and obviously there's less smell, it will be very interesting. With the only trouble, like we have mentioned, is you're going to have to be careful when you put your weathering on the top if you're using enamel weathering products, because you're going to eat straight down into your enamel paint. So what we need now is a range of non-enamel weathering products.
Well, hey.
Who does that?
Well, I've got no idea. I wonder. Hey.
Some people are going to think we fixed this. If anybody made a new range as well, perhaps a totally new type of thing coming out next year we've never done before, just hinting, as well, which are all nice water-based products. So yes.
Just
or of course you can obviously put a barrier coat on with a lacquer gloss coat. Something like that.
Nice little.
They remind me of the Italeri paints.
There you go.
Ooh.
The colour on the top as well. Look.
That's the tinting one, is it? I take it.
That's the tinty colour.
Yes.
Obviously very, very thin. It's going to be interesting. Like I say, I'm going to get them down to you. I don't know what the others are like. Hold on. That's a bit thicker, I think. So you can see when you have a play anyway. See what you think. But interesting.
How many mil is a bottle?
How many what?
What size bottles?
Made in the EU.
Cool.
That's what I'm saying.
What's it say on the bottle?
I can't read that small, Andy, so I don't ask.
He needs his magnifiers on to do the size of bottle. They look like 30 mil.
Like this look.
To be honest, those bottles, they look like to me maybe the 30 mil bottles,
like
or maybe 20 mil bottles. I don't know.
I'll see if I can see it.
Don't you wreck that box. I need it to look professional on camera.
I know, I'm trying not to. That's why I don't want to keep doing it. 10 mil.
Oh, they are 10s.
10 mil. Yeah, 10 millilitres.
Oh, right.
There you go. Right, yeah. So that's nice. So there we go. So watch this space for Phil's in-depth review.
I will do an in-depth review, and I have to go with the tinting. So if they've covered the tinting, we need tons of that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, but nice new company we'll hopefully be dealing with in the future. We'll see. So
very nice.
All good.
Right. Shall we have a quick look around the store and then we can see? So obviously the big thing is the Razor Quest is in. I did do the review yesterday. I'm sure you've probably all seen it, but if not, have a look at the review. That looks absolutely fantastic. Beautiful kit, lovely, in-depth. As I say, it's got fully detailed cockpit. It's got fully detailed internal bays. And I know some people, not so much modelers, but people I know have moaned it's not very detailed. But I think it is. It's got everything you need in there. You could literally go in there with fibre optics if you wanted to. There's room for it as well, which is the nice thing. And you could add all your detail to this. Another highlight for me is the way that all the glass work actually goes in afterwards. So the thing is, you can actually do it all as one, paint it all up, and then obviously put the glass work in afterwards, which is a massive bonus for it. So good, but also the gear is very, very nicely done, and as I say, the engines are absolutely mega on it. It really is a joy to behold that kit. So watch this space. I'll be building that in the new year as well. So that's that one that is up. Other ones that we have in is obviously the Nashorn.
This is a 48th one, yeah.
Then 48 scale.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have a go at 48th one, I think, because I've never built a Tamiya 48th kit, so I'm itching to have a blast at one, so that'll definitely be on my to-do list next year.
Did they not bring out the new 35th scale one early in the year as well?
They did, didn't they? Yeah.
The Nashorn's a few years old now.
It's a few years old.
I bet you're 2 or 3 years old probably now. That kit is.
Just when we were talking earlier about what Tamiya bought out this year, I was trying to rack my brains through what armour they bought out this year.
KV.
Yeah.
They've done the KV, and I don't know, was the Sheridan this year, or was that last year?
That was last year, wasn't it?
Because the Hellcat, or whatever it is going to be next year now, because they bought that's a new tooled one. Oh, the Kettenrad.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The little Kettenrad, which we can't get hold of either, which came and that was it, that's gone. But that's a new tooled one. I'm thinking new tooled as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I can't think of any others. I really can't think of any others. There haven't been that many. I said they've been really, really quiet.
I know what we have had in also, thinking about it, is the 48th Wehrmacht infantry set that Matt could do alongside the Nashorn.
Yeah, he could, couldn't he?
Paint some
Some sort of
148
diorama
figures.
with them all behind
Yeah.
him.
I'm struggling to see 35th. I'm going to paint 48. But there, look, yeah.
Anyway, we got the Mandalorian TIE Fighter as well, the Outland one.
Yeah.
That one's in. There will be a review of, not that kit, I'm going to do the Growler because it's the same thing basically, different wings and that, but obviously I've done the Echo as well, so I'll do the Growler to fit it in. The U2, I did a review of that one is up there right now again, and the SR-71 again, I'll get that up for you, that'll be up tomorrow on that particular one to make our way through, plus all the others. Unfortunately we are out of Desert Babes, but it's alright, they'll really re-releasing a new one in the new year, so it's great.
They are coming back in soon, aren't they, Matt?
Is that the new one or the second new one?
That one.
That one.
That one, right, okay.
That version.
We can't get the other one. I think the other one's just purely for Eddard's store only, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be like what the last 48th one they did with the little cards in, the limited edition, and you had to get it straight from Eddard. We were never going to see them.
Okay, so that's the limited one. Got you.
Yeah.
Okay, there's the infantry set we were just talking about.
Yes.
As well. And again, all the other bits and pieces just down in here as well. Some of them coming through. Very nice indeed.
Yeah.
You can see. So that's what we've got there. Then also, obviously in the special section, we've got the Growler still on sale. Let's say mega kit, grab one. Go through as well, and we've got the Spitfires that we've been saying as well. These are the Hobby 2000, which is the Reeboks. I've moved it now because it's completed, my other Spitfire, but it is absolutely beautiful. Definitely a must kit. To be honest, I'm going to say it now because I'm going to get in before everyone else turns around and says, "Oh, that's mine as well." I think, honestly, Revell are going to be my manufacturer of the year. Because built in that Spitfire is absolutely legendary. It's been an absolutely beautiful build. No problem at all with that. That is very nice.
Can't do that.
Why? Because I've stolen yours.
Well, yeah, basically.
That's why I've got in there first. And obviously we've got a load of other ones on specials as well. So as I said last on the Friday show, it's really nice to see the IL-76 back in. Again, sensible scale for that. Has John still got his?
Which one? Is big un or little un?
Yeah, no, he's big un.
Yeah, because he's got the mainstay in it.
He's got the mainstay. Which
yeah.
Is it mainstay or Midas? Which one's which?
No, the Midas is the tanker. The mainstay is the thingy one, isn't it? The radar one.
Yes, he's got that one empty because we got it in. God, how long ago did we get him that?
Oh, a couple of years.
Yeah.
4 years ago, I reckon.
That's down in there. The other Hercules as well, because obviously they do the J now as well. So that's the H, the shorter one, the normal engine one as well. And again, all the various bits as you can see down in here. And again, some of our damaged box stocks as well. So if you want to get some of those, very nice indeed.
Just to say, keep an eye on the specials because they will be updated. Andy don't even know this because he's looking at me blankly, but I'll talk to him after. So there will be some stuff going up for the specials for the Christmas period.
Right, okay. Speaking of the Christmas period, this is our dates as well. So as you can see down in here, order at 12:30 tomorrow. Will be sorted and all the rest of it. Obviously we're closed from Christmas Eve to the 28th closed, and then postal pickup, obviously your orders will be going out on the 29th, so anything you sort of order in between those dates, it won't go out until the 29th, 30th of December, and then obviously closed 31st to the 3rd over the weekend, and then back at it as normal on January the 4th.
Yes.
So that gives you a bit of a rundown of exactly what we're doing with that one. But obviously don't forget, you can still order even though we're not here.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem at all. So you can go through and do all of those. Right, shall we pop over to the, speaking of pre-orders, the various things that are going up. First one up we've got over here, which is the Tornado. Oh, sorry, there we go. This is the ECR one, limited edition. So this is the 48 scale.
Revell kit.
Yeah.
Very, very nice indeed. Nice colourful tiger markings.
Yeah,
It has
really nice markers,
isn't it? You can't beat the Germans for doing brightly coloured tornadoes, can you? Let's be honest.
No, very, very nice indeed. So we calling this like the year of tornado for Eddard because they've done everything, haven't they?
Yeah.
So cashing in off of that one. So very, very nice. I'm sure them and Revell are very happy the way that that's been going. The other one as well, the Armour Hobbies P51. This is the very nice BC version. So it's got the sort of bubble canopy on this one, as well as the normal canopy as well. So you've got both types in that one, which is very nice indeed. Again, beautiful markings with this one. And I'm really hopeful that, obviously speaking of them, that we might see the 48 scale Hurricane this year, or next year, I should say now.
Hopefully. I've got to say, from a P51, I like version better than the D.
Yes, yeah, I must admit, that sort of Spitfire canopy onto it, I think, looks absolutely lovely, doesn't it?
I just like the look of that one more than the other one, to be honest. Which will probably really upset the purist, but I don't know. There's something about that one. Quite like it.
I prefer the D, but without the fillet on the tail. That slap-shaped tail, but with the.
So you like it with the stripe, the bit down in here?
No, without that bit. Sorry.
So this one here with the clean one, yeah.
What was the fillet for then? What did that give them extra? Do you know?
Strengthening the tail.
Oh, was it more stability? I don't know. One or the other. So I know they did it to the P47, didn't they? Later on as well. The later versions.
Is that the end version?
Yeah, I think it's the end, isn't it? Yeah, which it's got the fillet in the tail as well. So.
Talking of P47s.
Yes.
Have you ever built the Trumpy 32nd D?
No.
Have you still got the Asagawa one?
Yes.
Dottie May?
I've got Dottie May over there, yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
That's the bubble top one, isn't it?
Yes.
Not the Razorback.
I always like the Razorback version, you see, of the P47. Again, I don't know what it is, but yeah. Because I think it's only Trumpy who do one in 32nd, isn't it? I don't think it's a great kit, but it's literally the only one.
The only one, which makes it a great kit.
Which makes default. It a fantastic kit, yeah, absolutely. A great kit, yeah. It's just an, don't know, an underrepresented kit again, isn't it, P47? I know Tamiya ones are amazing, aren't they? Because I've built the Razorback on that, and everybody has, I think, at some point, and that is just a stellar kit in it for a P47.
No, it is very nice.
Interesting.
No, I must admit, it sort of made it off my shortlist for my builds next year, because I did, when I was going through it all to work out for doing the big kits next year, obviously I've got it here, and I've had it since it got released, Dottie May, with all the rest of it. But I don't know, it slipped, because I thought obviously I could re-rivet it and go through all the motions of it. So, but yeah, you never know, it might make its way back on, because when you talk about it you think, it's a few bits of aftermarket for it as well. They're quite nice. Obviously it's the Dottie May version, so it's got all the goodies with it as well. So
well, it's Asagawa kit, so it's going to go together pretty good. And again, you've got nice weathering options, I think, without obviously making it look derelict, but they did get a bit worn, didn't they? You can have your stripes on it.
Yeah, definitely. And there's some very, very nice markings and options in there as well. So
it's one of them though. Do you really, really want to build it because it's so precious of a kit in the Edard boxing?
It is. Yeah, that's the trouble. But there again, I'm a builder first. I'll keep the box. So it looks good on the shelf. Oh, you've got one of those? Yes.
What you need to do is build the kit, buy some aftermarket decals so you don't use a decal sheet, and then eventually, obviously, the Asagawa plastic will come back.
And then put it back in the box. Yes, definitely. That's definitely the way to do it. Right, okay, so that's that one that is in there now, and then obviously we've also got if we go back, we've got the Harrier, which I don't think we need to show again. We could be going on about it for ages down in there. We've got the Fair Lady as well. Again, we are reliably informed by Matt that this will be in early next year as well for the AMK F14D.
Both fighters do Jan in it, first quarter of next year, ICM, so that'll be nice.
That'd be really nice. I actually quite fancy doing that one because that's nice. Nice.
You'll be doing it kit a week the way you're going.
I know. I'm going to be on it like Sonic next year. And all the other ones. Any notable ones I need to pick out? Are you happy?
No, not really. No, we're just waiting now for some.
That one's it's just been released, isn't it?
Yes.
So
yes, that's just been released. So to be honest, it was literally yesterday. We're not gonna get it until after New Year now. So just down fire. But yeah, we are getting it in. Obviously, it's that near to Christmas. Chance of it coming in, but you never know. But yeah, I would probably think January. So that's the longer nose version, in it, the D.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so
Yeah.
over to questions. We got the first questions here from Paul, and he says, "Hi team, is there a restock of Ryfield products due any time soon in the new year, providing everything doesn't go south again, or any information relating to their delivery times?"
Ryfield is doing next year. I can't tell you when, but definitely a Ryfield order doing next year. And probably beginning of the year. So no, I'm not saying dates like I've just given myself a VMK, but yeah. So we'll be having a restock of Ryfield.
So it will be here soon. Okay, so Brendan's put up here, "Hi guys, happy Christmas and wishing you all the best for the new year. I saw the announcement today about Kinetic's 1/48 scale. This is the Atlas Cheetah D, which is the long-nosed puffy version, as I call it, which is due for release in March. It is. Will we be stocking it? And Phil, will you do a review?"
Can I just be a bit of a Luddite here?
Yeah?
Is that a Mirage?
Yeah.
All right.
Shh, you're not allowed to say that, because it's clearly not a Mirage.
It's a Kafir.
It's like the Kafir is not a Mirage
Right.
at all. They may have just borrowed the designs because they weren't allowed to have them when the French pulled out of the agreement, so they just stole them.
Yeah.
There's some good books on it. If you want to read about Mossad, now they've got the designs for it. That's what you need to do.
Because that's South African version, isn't it?
Yes.
So
So yeah, this one's got the bit on the front and all the rest of it. It's got the longer nose, as I call it, the puffy version. It's not as slinky as the Cheetah, as the Kafir.
Yeah, the Mirage isn't one of my more favourite aircraft, I must admit. I don't know what it is about it I don't like, but I just don't like the Mirage. I don't know, Matt's one of his favourite aircraft, isn't it, Matt?
what, a Mirage 3? I like the Mirage 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is about him. I just don't know. Doesn't do it for me, but yeah.
I'll tell you one of the kits which is underrepresented is the Hobby Boss Mirage 3s.
Well, we've said this, haven't we?
Because I think that's a brilliant kit. It's a really, really nice kit, and it's cheap. And it's
It's do a revisit.
It is, definitely, because I've built a couple of those now, and I actually really like their kit. And you think then, obviously, Edard did a version, didn't they, and all stuff like that. And theirs was a handful to put together, but that one just went together.
The Edard one, and obviously Kinetic do a Mirage 3, but I've never bothered with that either. Cause,
no. Well, I did the Edard version, and it just awful. Couldn't get it to get the intakes, the actual fillet for the underside.
I've heard it's a bit of an handful. If you want a Mirage 3, seriously, look at the Hobby Boss one for 20 quid, I bet. I think it's
it is. It was like 17 quid or something, that kit. Yeah. It's a bargain.
I mean, it's probably just touching over 20 quid now, but I don't know. It is an absolute gem of a kit. It's really nicely done, and it looks like a Mirage, so that's...
In fact, I think when that first got released, I think it was $14.99.
I would have...
And it was back in the day, and I got it when it very first got released, and that would have been around about, I don't know, 2005, I think it was, or something. And it was one of the first Hobby Boss kits I'd ever built. I was blown away. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, well, it's one of the first ones I built when I came to the site, I think, to be honest, when I joined. But then you see it like with the Mirage and stuff like Andy's just said, I'm only attracted because you can do it in IDF.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, anything in IDF camo, to me, happy days, because they look cool. It's just the coolest scheme ever. The IDF 3
I agree if it's in the IDF tricolour.
Anybody else's, I ain't that bothered.
I mean, I've done the AMK Kafir 10-second one. I've got a 48 to build.
Yeah.
Again, it's because of the camo schemes more than the actual aircraft.
Which one was yours? The Chile version or Venezuelan or?
You did
it for the South American thing, didn't you?
Yeah, I can't remember which one I did. Might have been Venezuela, I can't remember.
But no,
as I say, it'd be nice to see Kinetic do it. Again, they were a funny company last year because we were expecting things, and obviously we got the Picara last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But the C-17s dropped off the planet.
Yeah.
They were going to be doing the Globemaster and all the rest of it, and it's like what happened? They sort of just
boxings, weren't there? Because obviously the F-104, but there's a few different versions of that came out. Then the F-84 that did the F-84F was re-released, and again it was more re-releases and new box arts, wasn't it? Because they were Gold series, but I think they only probably new kit I could think of is the Picara. I can't think of anything else. I know they've, like I said to you, the Reebok CF16, the Suffers and stuff with new weapons, and the Mirage 2000 with GBUs, was it?
Yes.
But again, they're their old kits anyway. They're nothing new there. So again, I just think it's just the lie of the land at the minute, isn't it?
I think some of the companies probably, just took a little bit of stock during the pandemic and, hunkered down a little bit. Hopefully they'll be back and at it, and we'll see some of the promised releases making their way through.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's saying that most of the kits that he's bought over the last 2 years are because of, I think he means my no bullshit and unbiased approach to kit reviews. There you go. Say it as it is. Scott says he would like to start off by wishing us all, our families, to us and our families, a happy Christmas. Thank you for the PM for the excellent service this year. My question is, I'm a bit tight and don't want to splash out on loads of cash on the Bandai Millennium Falcon. Is the Revell 72nd cheap version an okay kit or a bit of fun? Which one do you mean?
Wait, can I butt in here? Don't be tight. Do yourself a favour, dig deep and get yourself the Bandai one, because you need...
Or, I will keep this because obviously of my non-biased effect. If you have a look at the review, which should be in Revell...
They do one for about 40 quid.
Yeah, they do a really cheap and nasty, but the one, if you can get hold of it, which is a bit cheaper obviously than the Bandai one, is... Come on, load through. You know you're going to. Is... Where is it? Is it in here? Is it? There it is. Is obviously you've got this one.
Is that the fine mould one?
Which is the fine mould one.
You've got no hope of getting that. Absolutely not. A cat in out chance of getting that.
I've got one here. Do you want one? I've got one here.
I think he means the 40 quid one, doesn't he?
I think he means a cheap one.
So again, you do have 3 different flavours. You've got obviously the very expensive Bandai one, which is beautiful, which Andy's now going to be building next year. Then you've got obviously that one there, which is the fine moulds one. And I built about 4 of the fine mould ones, and they are great kits. They go together really, really nicely, but it's not quite the Bandai one, put it like that. And then you have got, I think they do call it like the play type snap ones and all the rest of it. And again, for 40 quid, it's great. You know, you can actually just get in there, you can weather it. There's not much in the way of construction because it's literally just pancakes to make the burger, and that's about it. So, but again, if you want to do it on a budget, then I have often said, and I think we even discussed this on a show the other day, wasn't it? That they're snap type fun kits and all the rest of it. Like the Imperial Shuttle, that one there's a classic example. It's stunning, it's great, because I've got the old NPC version and I still think that one's better. So if you weather it and do it, even though it's thick, chunky plastic and all the rest of it, it goes together really, really well. And these are easy kit ones. And we've done other ones, as I say, we've done the walkers and the various things down in here. But have a look at the reviews. If you go to, it's not here, but if you go to the Flory Models YouTube page, have a hunt in there. That Click Easy one I've done as a build. I did it as a review and build at the same time, but when I've moved sites it hasn't made it over to here, unfortunately. But if you look on the actual Flory Models YouTube channel, it's in there as well, because it's got the sound set in it and all the rest of it, and I did it. And I think we painted it and weathered it as well. I can't remember.
I think you did. What's the 156 scale X-Wing like?
Yes, I've got them over there. So these are the old fine moulds ones. Oh, sorry, this is the 57 scale ones. Ah, right.
The bigger one, the big one.
Yeah, which I've got upstairs. That's the 48 scale. Again, some of the reviews haven't made it over, but I've got it upstairs. And again, they are fine. If you want to paint and weather them up, I think, again, they come with sound chips in them and lights. And I've got it upstairs. I don't know why they didn't make it over here. It's obviously when we moved over sites. But yeah, there's a build. I didn't paint it because it's all pre-done in grey and black. So I think it's left upstairs. But I've got it on the shelf upstairs. So yeah, very nice. But again, it's that thing. If you take the time and do a bit of filler work and then paint, prime and paint.
Yeah, I was about to say them snap type kits. Like we've discussed are not as bad as I think people probably think they are.
Yeah,
you know?
These level 1 kits, they call them, because there's the other one as well. I've got that upstairs, and funny enough, I had somebody over here about a year ago now, before the pandemic, and they were like, oh, whose kit's that? And I said, it's not, it's the kids' play one. If you grab hold of the wings, they bend, because they're flexi plastic, but it looks absolutely fantastic. It really is. And that is a click and build video as well. So if you do that one, I actually paint and we do it as part of the video on there, because obviously putting them together only takes 10 minutes. So we go through, but again, they've got light and sound and all things like that, but you can make them into, you put them against anything from fine molds and Bandai next to it. You know, with a nice paint job, it's very hard to see that actually technically it's a kid's toy.
Yeah, you know what? It's painting and weathering them, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the trick to fooling people into it, I suppose, to make them probably look more expensive than they are. So
Yes.
I don't know. I might have a blast at one, because you did that the Han Solo thing, didn't you? The like speeder bike thing, was it, or whatever they had? It's got the guns. It makes a laser cannon noise.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool kit. That is. What's that from? Which one's that? Is that a?
This is the U-wing, which was from the Rogue One film. We did chipping on this and all the rest of it, and you know, hang on, zip forward. There we go. Actually, it turns out to something really, really nice. Yeah. I completely repainted and weathered it, and we chipped it up and went to it all. And hold on, if I get to the end bit, you can see it done.
It shows how they. Yeah.
That's very Buck Rogers.
Yeah. Do you know what? When I very first saw it, it's the first thing I said. They've stolen Buck Rogers there, haven't they?
Stolen the Buck Rogers fighter.
Yeah. It's like a snow speeder crossed with an X-wing.
Yeah, it's cool though. It's a cool looking ship.
But again, it's you know, it all works as well when it's got the sound and the lights all still work and all the rest of it. So yeah, I think it's one of those ones, isn't it, where you can just have a little bit of fun with it as well. You know.
Yeah, it's a quick mojo thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
With Bandai and them sort of things. If you're a bit stuck and just need to decompress, I suppose, you know, if you've had a long project or an in-depth project or something, you can just chuck that together, paint it, weather it, and just, because it's sci-fi as well, you're not restricted really, or you can do different things with them. So it's good.
So yeah, have a look out for them and all the rest of it. Say pop on the site and have a look. And what if I remember, I get a bit of time, I'll go digging for it. But there's definitely a one, because I know somebody sat on it. That's why it's no longer here. Yes, that's how that one died a death. Anyway, Mark says, hi guys, happy Christmas to you and your families. He's going to be doing the Tamiya 32nd F-15C next year, and he'd like to do a more modern version. He said that he's got the Ares late cockpit, but he would like to get the newer launch rails. Wolfpack did the update set, but can't find them. Do you know if anybody else does them? Oh God, you're looking at the LAUs for the AMRAMs, isn't it? Which go on it. I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to do a bit of research on that one. Again, depending on what you do, they do an early cockpit, they do a late cockpit, and then they do, you're talking about a more modern cockpit. So they do one now, which is basically, it's got like an iPad stuck in the top, and they've made like a homemade coaming over the top of it. It's a big thing, which is on the proper modern versions. I don't know if anybody does that particular one of it. The trouble is that because obviously I'm planning on doing mine, I had a look at a certain company who make nozzles for it, and they was 80 quid.
Wow.
It's like, what, for nozzles? Is that a typo? So anyway, I had a look around, and apparently not. That is the price for some nozzles. So I'll probably keep with either some Ares ones for it, which are like the 20 quid or whatever they are, or with the kit ones for mine. But as I say, I'm not quite sure what version of mine I'm going to be doing yet. I might do a Lake and Heath bird, to be honest, but we'll have to see exactly. But I haven't gone down the rabbit hole looking for aftermarket of it yet. When I do, I'll be looking into things like that as well. So yes, not too sure. The only other thing as well is that for the launch rails and stuff like that, I don't know if it'd be compatible with other aircraft like the F-16. So maybe if somebody's done an upgrade set for the F-16, you can graft them on for the F-15. Because it'll just be, I don't know what they are, the LAU 123s, whatever they are. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yes, it's one of those details where you have to be a purist to know. Because by the time you've got like an AMRAM hanging off of it, you're not going to see it. So
that's why me and Matt are being very quiet.
I have no idea what he's just said. I've got no clue what he's just said then at all.
Yes. It was basically where they upgraded the launch rails from ones that can fire like sidewinders to AMRAMs. So yeah, that was all that was. But I don't know yet, Mark. What I will do is, obviously I've got doing the Hurricane first for me, and I've got the aftermarket in for that one and a few others. When I get going on for the 32nd one, obviously I'll be doing shopping list for aftermarket as well. So I'll have a look around and see what we.
Are they different types of bombs then? Sidewinders and that. And
This is it. Yeah. That's
it. So when you're starting your Hurricane, then what's the date of starting it?
I will be starting it first week in January. So gonna go. Now I've got the aftermarket bits.
What, the Tuesday we're back?
Well, I don't know about the Tuesday, but I might do actually. Might be actually into it on Tuesday. But now I've got my gun barrels for it. I've got my mask set. I've got me harnesses, and I've got me instrument panel. So we're good to go.
So are you doing the F-15 the second week of Jan?
No,
is that your schedule, is it?
That's the third week. The plan is to basically get one done a month. That's the build schedule for this year. We try and do them one a month. So
that was my plan at the beginning of this year as well.
So yes, and seeing as I think of my list, I've got my entire build thread this year. There's only 3 48 scale. All the rest of them are either 24 scale or 32nd. So we're not doing bad.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Fine. Anyway, Graham says, hi guys, quick question. He sprayed my aircraft with AK Gen 3 satin varnish, mixed up 60-40 with Vallejo thinners and left to dry for a couple of days. I've inspected the aircraft and had 2 minor runs and sanded them, the bottom one with no problem, but then he did the top and started to peel, but only on the dark green camo part. The green had been left for a couple of days, Vallejo Model Air. I was able to gently cut along the camo edge and then paint the panel lines and remove the small section before respraying. Have any ideas what's happened?
Build up a paint, not dry.
Yeah.
I'd say.
I would say.
When you get a run, you've got to think of the thickness of the paint.
Yeah.
And then that's going to take how long to dry. The trouble is when you get a run as well, it will skin over.
Yes, that's what I was going to
say. So everything
yeah.
underneath it's going to be soft. As I used to find out regular. Yeah. So really the best thing you could have done is to actually sort of take something sharp and very gently sort of just,
let it gas off.
I'm trying to think what you can compare it to without it sounding disgusting, if you know what I mean.
A blister.
I'm thinking of the hoof GP here. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, I know where you're going with this one. But yeah, if you had a blister on your finger, it's wet underneath it, and
then everything can evaporate and it will harden off. But by the sounds of it, it probably wasn't hot, hard enough to sand.
Yes.
And it's just peeled it. Because the thing is with acrylics as well, we obviously react different than lacquers would, and probably enamels with the drying times. That's what I'm thinking off the top of my head. And
also, I call it that sort of eggshell effect as well. Like you said, you've given it a coat of varnish over the top, so you've sealed in that paint underneath, so it can't gas off now because it's stuck underneath it. So in theory, like we said before, if you're one of these painters who do lots of coats, perhaps in a day's worth, that's going to take a long time to dry off because each coat can't just evaporate. These are air drying products. It's not like a 2-pack, which is a chemical reaction as a hardener going off into it. The only way they can do it is to literally gas off.
But thinking as well though, did you say use Vallejo Model Air?
Yeah. Which you dry.
That's got latex in it.
It's going to have the latex effect that takes. Again, you've sealed that in, so you're going to have a knock-on effect.
Even if the Vallejo Model Air was properly dried, with the AK satin being sat on top of it for a long time in its thickness, would that have softened the
because
paint below it?
Product is it just sits on top. It don't eat into it, does it? No, if it was lacquer, then I'd say if you were putting a GX 100 over whatever colour a finger, then because it'd eat into it because it's hot product. But they just layer, don't they? Acrylics, they don't.
Just lie on top
into each other. That's the problem. So no, I just think it's just sealed in and done that normal trick of just rolled when you've tried to sand it because the latex hasn't fully cured off. I presume the latex count in Model Air is a lot less than obviously what I use with model colour, but it's still going to have it in it for flexibility and for stability as well, isn't it? That's why they put it in. So
Again, you've also always got that trade-off with paints, isn't it? They put latex in there to give you a nice smooth finish and for it to level out.
Yeah.
But then it bites you, because if you need to sort of sand it or anything back quickly, like you would do, say, with Tamiya, you can't. Because again, it just rolls up. And we said about primers as well. The manufacturers of primers have got these primers which gives you beautiful satin smooth finish, and they've got, they'll do great jobs at filling scratches and stuff. The downside to it is that because of the stuff that makes it work so well can then bite against you if it doesn't work, because you can't just sand it. You need to leave them a long time to go off. And I know people often talk about putting various things like IPA into it and all these things to help it gas off faster. You're sort of defeating the project, what the product is trying to do, So, but yeah, it's time, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's just that thing. Sometimes things need to totally dry off. It's funny enough, I was doing editing this morning before we started, and I was talking about the Spitfire, and I call it the grab technique. So you literally get hold of the model, hold it in your hand for a couple of minutes, then take your hand away. If it's cold and there's nothing there, you're fine. If it's sticky, you get that thing, you can just feel it. It feels like it's warm as well, like the surface has gone warm. It's not dry, it's still gassing off and doing its bit, but you want it to be cold and hard. So the bit where you hold it, no problem at all, you take your hand away, there's just nothing. If you've got it where you're feeling a little bit of, something's going on there, then it just needs more time to go off. So I call it the acrylic handling test.
I know we spoke about it, but the thing, I think it's a bit of a false security, because it does go off fast. But it doesn't because of the latex.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Especially with, like, say, Model Air and things like that, with the latex being in it. So you think, it's dry, because I'm using it, obviously people use it because it's low odour and all that lot, but we've been over that loads of times. But also, they say because it dries quick, but actually it doesn't dry any faster than an enamel, I'd say.
Yeah.
The only fast drying paint is literally lacquer. Where you can spray it and within 5 minutes you can pick it up, as long as you've not bang loads on, because you're doing it in thinner coats as well. But I think that's like the only sort of quick, if you're a fast modeler, shall we say, route to go down, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, anyway.
And there we go, that's the last of the questions.
Is that it?
We are all done, sorted.
Oh, that's it. That's us done then till January.
That's it for this year.
Yeah, that is it.
So yes.
So no show next week.
No show next week, but if you do want to join us, we will be doing Thursday afternoon. So
build
along. So if you want to join us live for a build along, what time are we starting? Seeing as we haven't arranged this properly yet.
I would probably say 2:30.
Yes, okay. So we do 2:30 through the afternoon. So if you are off work between Christmas and New Year, don't forget your camera, watch it as a recorded one as well. We're going to be doing some building. So if you want to do a bit of a build along with us and things like that, it'd be lovely to have you along for there. We can have a chat and a chinwag, answer your questions live via the old YouTube and things like that.
Yeah.
It'd be lovely to have you all along for that particular one.
Yeah.
So there we go. That was 2021. I would say it can only get better in 2022 as Omicron sweeps across the nation. So we're all joining you in the spring for the lockdown shows.
or next week.
Or next week, yeah. From Boxing Day, it sounds like at this rate.
Yeah.
We're all going to be locked down again.
Yeah,
but anyway,
we might be back on a bit sooner than we said.
Yes, that's it. So we'll be back to doing the lockdown shows again every afternoon, 2 till 5. Here we go again.
Hopefully,
it's amazing to think that a year ago we were all thinking, "Thank God 2020's finished. Roll on 2021."
Yes.
And now we're thinking,
and what a car crash that was. So, it is definitely. But anyway, the big thing is massive thank you to you guys as well for all your custom and support for the company as well for PM Models. It has grown massively, more than we ever imagined. Me and Matt had this conversation back in the summer of where the company is now when we envisioned it on the deck out there that October, wasn't it, where we were sat out there thinking, what, should we do it? So where we are now, here we are 3 years later. With the unit stocked, massive load of customer base now and all the rest of it, and that's literally all down to you guys for all your kind support. So huge thank you to you.
I say we couldn't do it without you.
No, absolutely.
Buying and purchasing and like I say, supporting the company. So yeah, from me and Andy and the other staff. who you don't
the
know.
other staff members and myself. Massive
it's just
thank
a massive
you.
thank you. To be honest, it's
Yes.
just phenomenal for us.
Definitely.
It's just
Yeah,
sometimes you have to pinch yourself.
It is, and like even when we do the pre-orders, and we're doing pre-orders for 60, 70 kits at a time for you guys as well, we have to pinch ourselves thinking we've never thought it would be to this scale. It's ridiculous. So yeah, no, massive thank you to all you guys. And as I say, next year we've got plans for the company. You know, as you say, we've got new ranges that we will be taking on in the new year as well. So we've got lots of new bits and pieces and things like that, new ranges completely as well. So that's all exciting, and hopefully we'll have lots of new releases coming through, and some that we expected last year.
Hopefully.
Yeah, they will.
Finally be out.
Follow up some late stragglers. Hopefully we'll be out early in the new year. But there's some good stuff penciled in that we've seen and spoke about on previous shows. So if they come to fruition as they should next year, there's going to be some really good releases, and obviously stuff we don't even know about yet.
No,
so that's going to be exciting in January, because we're going to get obviously AFIX releases, ICM. Obviously we know, I think the Zvezda SU25 do first quarter.
Yeah.
But I've been digging for that. I know we're going a bit off tangent here, but I've been digging for a bit of info, as in pricing, so we can get a pre-order up for it. And I can't get anything out of said company who bring them in. So hopefully, New Year they'll get a load of info, and we can get that up, because I think that'll be popular. I'm looking forward to that SU25.
Definitely. And just finish off, obviously the Razor Quest, that went up yesterday, so you can actually go off and see that one as well. The Mohawk review is up with you right now, so you can go off and see that one. You've got the Edard Zero, which will be up with you in a day or two. We've also got the SR71 build that will be up with you tomorrow for the review of that one, and then I've got a review coming with you for the Hurricane, the 24th scale one as well, and obviously for the 32nd scale F18 F Hornet, and I've got a 48 scale the Hobby Boss F18 Growler coming up with you, which will be up with you either this week or as we go into next week as well. And then all next week as well, I've got the bite-sized videos from the Spitfire coming up as well. So lots of stuff to keep you going over the Christmas period and into New Year. And then obviously we're going to do a live show with you on Thursday afternoon as well.
Yeah,
so, and an auction.
And we got an auction as well straight away in the new year. So
Sunday, isn't it?
Yes.
On Sunday we're doing an auction.
Yes. So yes, lots of fun with that one as well. So loads of stuff. Keep an eye on social media and all the rest of it, and we'll keep you all up to date as we make our way through. So that's it for us. That's us for 2021. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We hope to see you all again very soon. But until then, happy modelling. Take care. Bye.
Bye.